everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and I am filming from a different angle. So, so I am pretty sure when I hold up something that's directional, I'm gonna have to do it this way, and I hope that this is right, you guys. So just the way I'm set up right now on my mother-in-law's table. So in case you haven't seen my community post, look at little Miss Selfie. She's a little, she's woken from her nap, so she's wanting to go play. But I'm going to be doing a proper video. She's all sniffing everything. I'm going to be doing a proper video on Sophie and her story and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if I'll have that up before this one or not, or directly after, but I just wanted to show you guys. So you might hear some toys squeaking in the background, but that's just the nature of having a puppy again. So, all right. And I may have to stop just because she might need something. So it's just like a newborn baby / toddler. What? You're fine. All right, so this is a combination of two different thrift stores that I went to with my girlfriend Ranelle. I was so happy we were able to actually connect this time and go thrifting. Our last trip home, we had to head home a couple days early due to weather, driving back into Montana, so we had to cancel our thrifting day and antiquing day. So we had a wonderful time. I'm going to do a separate haul video of all the things I found at the antique store. So this is a combination of two, St. Vinny's, and the other one is called Helping Hands, I believe. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of make a little bit more sense of what's on the table, and I'll be right back and we'll start digging in and checking out what I got. All right, so I thought I'd go ahead and do the books first. If it's a little bit echoey, I apologize, because as I mentioned, at least I think I did, we're still at my mother-in-law's house in Oregon, and so I'm in the living / dining room, so it's a little bit, you know, it's a larger space. So, all right, so the first, I didn't get a ton of books. Usually I walk out with probably 25, 30 books. I didn't this time. I'm getting a little bit choosier and kind of honing in as to what kind of books I'm looking for specifically. All right, so the first one I grabbed was the Nature Library Trees, and it's got a beautiful spine. And you guys forgive me because I again am filming in a completely different direction than I normally do, so I'll try to do my best to make sure I flip things that are directional so you can see what I'm talking about. But there are just a quite a good selection of different colored plates in here in the images. I mean, look how beautiful that is. And I thought this would be a great to turn this into a nature journal, possibly like a sketching type of a thing. So I grabbed that one. I really thought that was pretty. This one is going to stay in my permanent collection. This is Women's Institute Library of Dressmaking. Now, I do not make clothing, but I am really interested in historical dress and people who do history bounding. And if you're not sure what that is, history bounding is when people dress at a certain period that they like, whether they make the clothes themselves or they thrift them, and they're wearing like vintage clothing, antique clothing, and they wear them in present day. I would love to do that. I don't really have the courage to do that. I think it'd be kind of weird if I'm walking around downtown Butte and with a bustle dress and a parasol. But I love that look. I think it's so pretty. So I like fashions from like the 50s, probably actually closer to the 40s back. I love all different genres and periods and stuff. But I like to collect these things because these are very inspiring to me. I didn't even really get a chance to flip through this at the store because I knew I wanted it just based off the title. And so it's just has, I'm flipping backwards. This is so strange, you guys. It just has like different tips and measurements and, you know, kind of different ideas on how to put together garments and how you can like make your own lace, which is something I've been interested in for a very long time, and I need to actually just kind of start doing that. So, and I love that there are some images in here. So this book is going into my collection, and which is currently all in storage here in Oregon. But our storage unit, if you open up the door to the storage unit, like it goes up like this, you're going to open the door and you're going to see something that looks like this. We have that thing packed as much as possible because it's holding, you know, probably 95% of our belongings, furniture and that kind of thing. So that'll come with me, and that way I can kind of look through this book and get inspired to make my own lace and all that good stuff. So these here, I wanted to keep this sticker on so I could show this to you. I wish all thrift shops, yard sales, anybody secondhand that sells old books, sheet music, old like magazines like these here, that they would put a sticky note, because it's not a very, you know, it's just not very adhesive. It's not going to pull off the image of the cover like, you know, Scotch tape or legit, you know, price tags like that will stick to the paper. So I appreciated that St. Vinny's did this with these. And these are also for my collection. These are playbills, and I love stuff like this, you guys. I am a lover of vintage and classic movies. If you're newer to my channel, Gone with the Wind is my absolute favorite movie of all time. I prefer to watch movies from, I do like the 50s movies in the film noir genre, and clear back to silent movies. That's just what I love to watch, and that's pretty much all I watch, except for like remakes, like things like, you know, Bridgerton and Downton Abbey, things like that. I love those type as well. All right, I need to let Miss Sophie in, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this one is The Playgoer. It's a magazine for the theater. You're fine. She is super attached to me, you guys, which I love, because she'll be with Steve and I both, but you know, Steve will be traveling for work now that things have kind of opened up a bit more. And so, you know, he'll be gone for probably, you know, a couple days, sometimes 3 or 4, depends on what state he's flying to for work. Sorry, you guys, I didn't even flip through this thoroughly when I was at the thrift store, so I'll try to do it this way. If you guys want like a proper flip through of the different vintage books and magazines that I have, that I brought with me anyway to Montana, let me know and I can do that. Just checking to see what she's up to. And this one, Miriam Hopkins, she's probably my top 10 favorite classic movie actresses. I do like her a lot, and just a beautiful, beautiful magazine here. I'm so excited to sit down and read this, and it's got the gorgeous ads and stuff that are in there as well. I love that kind of thing. So that's what I have for those 3. This next one, Gilbert and Sullivan operas, and I always like to grab up any music books, whether it be just, you know, whether there's actually no notes or lyrics in the book. I like just the plain ones as well. So I was happy to find this one. It's got some dialogue, and it has some information about the songs and just that kind of thing. So I liked that it was a combination of sheet music and some information about the different operas that the music is from. I think that's really interesting. So these will be things I'll be taking apart and just selling as page kits, like, you know, packs of like legit vintage ephemera, putting them into my different slow stitch and fabric kits. If you guys hear my voice like going to the sides, because I'm trying to watch her, so make sure she's not tearing up too much stuff. So all right, next up are some pages, or excuse me, some packages of vintage wrapping paper. There were like 4 or 5 of this particular print. I kept one, and the other ones I grabbed for my girlfriend Ranelle, and I thought this was kind of a fun color. I'll be right back, you guys. Okay, so I just like the colors in this, and I thought this would be fun to use with some, you know, fun kind of spring, summer projects and whatnot. So I just kept that one pack to myself. They only had 1 of each of these, or else I would have grabbed more. And I think this is really pretty. This is some wedding paper. I have to tell you guys, I do not like filming this way, because I'm so used to you guys, like, you're just looking over my shoulder type of thing, like above me. And I just forget to turn things so you can see it very well. So I apologize for any weird angles again. So if they would have had more than just 1 pack of these, I would have purchased more. All right, so up next I have these 2 lovely yearbooks. I think they're, Abby, how about we put them right side up? There we go. I think these are colleges. Marin Junior College, and I love embossed detail. Looks like a wax seal. So this one is from 1926, and this one is from 1932, and I just thumbed through them really quickly, so I don't know exactly. It's just like your typical yearbook, it looks like to me. So and I always try to grab different yearbooks and things when I come across them, because I like to use the images, you know, because it's, especially if it's like in the 20s, 30s, you know, it's vintage ephemera, so I like to use those for projects. This was from 1932. And I just love the advertising that's in the back sometimes, if they have that, just the different quotes and sayings, and just the different backgrounds of like this, what the school or the campus look like. I just, you know, I love stuff like that. So I like to grab these when I can find them. All right, and up next I have this beautiful book here. It's got some great graphics on the cover. And I love the tape, how they try to repair it. So these are some operas. And I will take a picture and put it up here, so that way if you guys are interested and want to see what type of operas are listed in here, you know, you can do that if you choose. And this paper is so dark, and Just yummy. I just love how aged it is. It's just beautiful. So, and these are things I like to put in, you know, my fabric kits. You might be like, why are you putting paper in a fabric kit? Well, you can do paper and fabric together, but I also put it inside a divider in between the different layers because I think it's just, I like packaging. I think it's just kind of cool, and then that way you can use the paper or whatever in your different journaling projects or whatever it is you want to use. So anyway, I just liked how this looked. I don't have any music books like this. I didn't even know this flipped out. Oh, cool. So I just, you know, grabbed them. All right, and we have another one. This one actually has the plastic cover on it. So it's basically the same. I don't know if they're actually different or not. Let me take a peek. Yes, it is. These are by different composers. So there is that one. And then different graphics again on the cover, but inside it's going to be, you know, I'm sure pretty much like the first one I just showed you. So there's some pages that are loose, which is fine. But you guys, these papers, they just feel so nice. I just love the feel. And let me see if I can hold this up. Let me grab one. Maybe there's a loose one. It feels like it's loose. Yeah. So let me hold this up and just show you. This just looks different to me. Steve is a musician. He plays several instruments and he also sings. So I'll have to ask him because this looks different. Like it looks busier, if that makes any sense, than like my normal music paper and sheet music that I get. So I was really happy to find these two books. All right, I'm going to kind of clear this off and get off some of the little vintage paper bits that are coming off the books, and then we'll go through the linens and fabrics, and I'll be right back. Okay, next up are the linens and fabrics. This is going to be a combination of both thrift stores that we went to. So this one I'm going to do last because I want to open this up and take a peek with you guys and see what's in here as well. So I grabbed it because of this tapestry. It's on top. So put that over there. Okay, so here are the pillowcases. Sorry if I'm bumping the table, you guys. So I'm not going to open it up all the way, but this is the print. All right, go ahead and do the pillowcases since they're here. And I won't open these up because we all know what a pillowcase looks like. There is this pillowcase, and I love it that it's got the print all the way, all over the whole entire piece. Okay, next up we have this one. There's this really pretty pillowcase. There's that. I have this really pretty blue one. I love those blue roses. This sheet here, I think it's just, yeah, I just found the one sheet. I couldn't find the fitted sheet or anything to go along with this one, this set. Really pretty. And I believe that is a full as well. These I know are full because I had the sticker on it. So this is the fitted sheet. This looks like, I think I have the pillowcase for this one. I don't know, you guys. I'm running on like not a lot of sleep. You know what it's like when you're not in your own bed, and we've been here for close to 2.5 weeks, which is great, not complaining, and just life with a new puppy. So, because Bella would have turned 12 this past March 30th. So she was 11 when she passed. So it'd been a lot of years since we had a puppy. So it's kind of just like starting over again a little bit. So just adjusting. All right, so these are kind of some miscellaneous things here. I found, this is the length of this one. And it's got like a diamond pattern. It looks like, yeah, like a diamond pattern. So there's that. This isn't a pot holder, but it was in the pot holder section. I think somebody maybe thought it was. I guess you could use it for one if you wanted, but this is just a piece of some quilting that somebody was working on, and I like the colors. And then I grabbed these two pot holders, and I will be doing a video once we get back on how I use these like pot holders and things like that in my different crafting projects. So when I get back to Montana, then I'll be able to have all of my supplies. So I only found a couple articles of clothing this time, which is fine because I really scored last time. This is a linen blouse here. I've told you guys before many times, and I know a lot of you know this as well. Again, I'm not saying I'm telling you something you don't know, but in case you haven't and you're new to thrifting, you know, clothing and fabrics and stuff, I always check in the clothing section after I hit the textiles and fabric area, and I specifically look for linen clothing. I don't care if it's what article of clothing it is. I always grab it because this is great stuff to stitch on, use for journals, wall pieces, you know, mixed media, doing fiber art, all that kind of fun stuff. So I found this blouse here, and hold up so you can kind of see the color. I'm trying to lean over and look at my viewfinder and see if I'm even in frame with that stuff. This is so awkward, you guys. All right, and I didn't find a ton of fabric this time. I actually only found this one piece of fabric. There was a ton there. You know, I just kind of, again, trying to be a little picky choosy this time because I knew we were hitting other thrift stores and we were going to the antique mall, and that's kind of where I went banana nut cakes, and you guys will see that. So this beautiful length of fabric, see, from Fabric Innovations, Antique Florals. I love love the browns in this. It's so pretty in the floral. So I grabbed that piece. And this is a pillowcase cover. Again, this is linen, and I always grab that for the reasons I just told you. And this isn't old or vintage lace on the side, but this is still great to use in projects. You know, you can coffee or tea dye it or eco print on it. This here is a pillow sham. It's thicker. It's large. It's like for a king, or probably a queen maybe. But anyway, it's quite a bit larger, so I can't show you the whole thing at one time, but you kind of get the idea of the print here, where you guys can see the whole print. And this is a really nice large piece of fabric. Basically, I'm getting twice of what you see here, because since it's a pillow sham, you know, it's folded over, so I'm getting twice the amount. And then we'll do the pillowcases, and then we're gonna dig into, oh, this is the other piece of clothing I forgot to show you guys, was off to the side. This is actually a lady's nightgown. Now, I typically don't thrift or even look through the sleepwear, just because a lot of times it's pretty well worn. But I found this in kind of like the little vintage area, they call it. This reminds me of the little house dresses my grandma used to wear. And I got it for this print, the fabric here. So I thought that was fun. There's a lot here. There's some buttons I can definitely, and this is older. I mean, there are some buttons I can definitely harvest off of here. And this is a pretty long night dress or house, house gown, or whatever you want to call it. So I need to let the dog in, so I'll be right back. Okay, pillowcases. We'll finish these off. The only decoration embroidery is on just the edging here. There's a monogram, and there's some cross stitching, and then some lace detail. And I guess that's the last pillowcase actually. So this is a set of 3, and these are some handmade doilies. Very, very, very precious and delicate. Then I have some men's hankies, and these are just those 2, or did I find, well, I had a couple more blue ones, but I guess not. So I'm going to be using these in some different sashiko projects, and I do have a playlist, but it's only got 1 video so far where I'm doing some sashiko, and I will link that video below in case you want to go check it out. And then just a few bit of vintage linens. Ranelle hit that section before I did, because I went straight back to the fabrics this time, because it was like overflowing. Again, as I mentioned, I was a little bit choosier this time, so she kind of got more of the linens, which is completely fine. That's the fun part of thrifting with your girlfriends, is seeing the treasures they find as well. And this is beautiful. I love this one. Hold up so you can kind of get a look at the embroidery work there. And then with this one as well, this is a set, so really, really nice. Okay, up next we're going to go ahead and go through this, but I'm going to cut the plastic off first so we have less crinkle, and we'll take a peek at the different types of fabrics and textiles in one of the grab bags. Alright, so there are 3 pieces of textiles in here, and I love the mixed bags that you can get from the thrift stores. St. Vinny's does a great job of putting kind of like things together, or working on a specific project and you need a certain color palette. I like that they have that option. So let's take a peek. And again, this is the piece that caught my eye and why I grabbed this bundle. And let's see here. Yeah, this is a really nice upholstery tapestry piece, and it's an outdoor scene. I'll flip it around just a minute, you guys, because I'm getting my first look at it as well. It's got some, so it's a guy, looks like he's fly fishing in the river. There's a moose in the background, a tent. Sorry, I had to check on the baby. So this is pretty much the design throughout this whole piece here. So really, really cool. I love that. And if you aren't into like outdoor things like this, if you guys take these and you cut them into like, little charm pack sizes or different pieces, you're only going to get like a portion of like the gentleman in the river fishing, and you're just going to get those colors and the detail from the river. Okay, thought I'd zoom in so you guys can kind of get a closer look here of what I'm trying to explain, probably very poorly. But if you don't want to make something with this whole scene here with this gentleman, then what you could do is just, cut little parts out that you like. Because if you look at that, then, I don't think most people would probably tell, if I had, 2 more hands here to block it off, that this is the bottom half of a fisherman in a river. It's just a really cool textile, colors and that kind of thing, and some really cool background. So those are things that you can do to cut. And if you didn't want like the body, you could cut off just certain parts of it, smaller pieces, and then kind of do like a collage or like a applique or something like that. So I just wanted to mention that, because I do thrift different materials and textiles that may have a scene on it that I don't particularly care for, but I know I can cut it down into smaller pieces and then, really kind of break up the scene that's not really, my preference. All right, last 2 pieces. So this is some thicker upholstery material here, and I love the color. It is such a nice neutral, kind of like a slate gray. All right, I'm holding Sophie with one hand, so I'm gonna do my best here. But this is great for you guys, you know, base fabrics, and you can do different staining techniques, eco printing, botanical printing, all that fun stuff. So I always like to grab these because, in my opinion, you can never have enough of some of these base materials. It's kind of like having, you know, the you know, your basic black dress, so to speak. And then this length here, this is more of a polyester length. I don't know how many yards are here, but it's kind of like in this forest green. So, and this is another great base material to have. What? What? You want to come up here and check it out? What? She's like, what's going on up here, Mom? You're not holding me and giving me all your attention. What? Look how cute that face is. Look at that. Isn't she just precious, you guys? I just love her so much. All right, next up is going to be kind of like the miscellaneous items, and then we're going to be wrapping up this thrifting haul video. So I will see you guys in just a minute. Okay, so I thought I'd just go ahead and leave everything in this gym basket and just kind of go from there. So let me pull this off to the side. Actually, let's do over here so I don't block the light. And I love to pick up embroidery hoops, specifically the wood ones and also the old metal ones, unless it's a purple plastic one, then of course, guys, you know, I gotta bring that home. And I like the size of this one. I do have a couple of this size that are in storage, but I'm happy to have found one that I can take back to Montana with me. So what I will do is just remove the different bits of lace and material that's on this one and the ribbon, because I bought it solely for the hoop itself. All right, and then I have this old cake pan because I like to just put different bits and bobs when I'm working on specific projects. So I grabbed that. This here is an Omni grid ruler. Anytime I find rulers, she has so many quiet toys and she plays with those mostly. And the moment I try to film, because Steve is out running errands and my in-laws are out running errands as well, she decides to play with her one of her loud ones right next to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her do it for a little bit, and then I'll come back and get this part finished. Okay, so anytime I find rulers, doesn't matter if I already have that size or not, I like to pick them up because, you know, you can never have too many rulers. And also I can, you know, let friends use them. I can give them away, that kind of thing, because they're significantly less than what you pay in the store, at least in my experience in thrift stores. So I wanted to grab that one. Ranelle found this for me, and as I mentioned earlier, I think Gone with the Wind is my favorite movie of all time, and this is a reproduction. Obviously it's not like legit vintage Gone with the Wind. I do mostly collect that, but I also love this type of stuff too, and these are unwrapped cards, playing cards in there, so these will definitely go in my collection. I don't have any of my Gone with the Wind stuff with me because, as I mentioned a million times, you guys are probably getting sick of it, most of our possessions are in storage until we buy our own house and some property and that kind of thing. So this is small enough that I can go ahead and take this back with me. If it was larger, I would go to the storage unit and try to slide it in somewhere, but this is small enough. Plus I can put this on my shelf and I can kind of have like my little nod to classic movies and my favorite movie of all time. Okay, I almost didn't see these at St. Vinny's because they had them in a basket up by the register, on a different register than where I was, and I happened to turn around and I was like, I need these. And so I grabbed these. I haven't even opened them up yet to see what all's inside. I got some of those stamps, and the reason I grabbed them initially, because I didn't even see these until the end, because these are not like old, you know, vintage stamps, but it's a stamp line of Legends of Hollywood, and I wish I had every single one because of the different, you know, Hollywood legends that they did stamps for, because I would definitely buy them all so I can collect them. This is Humphrey Bogart, and these will just be part of my permanent collection as well, with my vintage, different vintage ephemera, like movie ephemeras I'm talking about, memorabilia, books, posters, cards, that kind of thing. So I am just really tickled to have found Mr. Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, the Maltese Falcon, Casablanca, the African Queen. I think probably one of my favorite ones is, I really enjoy the Maltese Falcon. I think that's I like that kind of movie. So if you guys are ever know of a place online or something like that where I could purchase more of the Legends of Hollywood stamps, I don't care if there's one, I don't care if it's a full book or whatever, I would like to add to my collection. So if you could let me know, you can send me an email to purplecottagecrafts@gmail.com, and then I will go there and purchase it myself. That would be awesome, you guys. So thank you for that. Okay, I think it'd be easier if I just put the basket here and kind of pull things out. So I rarely find anything to me related while thrifting. yard sales and the like, so I was happy to have found this pack. It looks like there's only one missing of his corked vials, so I was happy to come across that beauty. As I mentioned before in past thrifting videos, I will always grab up all these different crochet threads, embroidery bundles, that kind of thing, balls of, you know, different types of yarn and fibers, because you can get them really super cheap. A lot of times they're older, and I like the different colorways. So this is pink, and then this kind of green and white, and then I especially like to grab these older ones, the JP coats, because a lot of times I'll just display these. I'll use some, but I also like to display them. So, and this is kind of like a pink fiber, not a fiber, I'm sorry, this is like a thicker string is what I meant to say. This one here, really cool variegated one there. And then embroidery hoops, as I mentioned before, I like to grab the embroidery hoops I come across that are wood. I think these tiny ones are so cute. Like this was 39 cents for this. I mean, you know, just get really good pricing on these. So I'm gonna start selling some of my work in these embroidery hoops. I've had people over the years and recently asking, you know, like, what do I do with the different things that I make? And so I thought, well, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start put myself out there a bit more, and I'm selling some of my different stitched and textile projects in the like along with the different journals and things that I make. So I was happy to have found those hoops. They had a ton of these, so if I end up liking these, I'll go back and get some more before we leave, because I'm going to play with this on a textile piece I'm currently working on. This is some lamb's wool and Dr. Jill's, oh look at that, I didn't even look at that. See the packaging, it's for your, it says Dr. Jill's foot pads, and it's lamb wool. So I not sure what you would use that for. I mean, that's too poofy to paint your nails. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Don't make fun of me. But I saw this as a textile, so, which it is. So I want to open this and take a look at it and see what it is like. So yeah, this is a great fiber to use. So love that. Really excited about using that one. And this is from Canvas Core Basics, canvas strip. So this is great, you know, you guys know what we do with that kind of stuff. These are some shoulder straps, and they were selling them for 10 cents less than the original price, which is funny. Sophie, you're fine. And I love the packaging too, so you can definitely use that as well as the item inside. Just some more of the different seam bindings. And there's some satin, and there's some bias tapes, and just some different colors. And I was actually able to find a few purples this time, so I was happy for that. And that's just white. And I'm always on the lookout for embroidery, floss, and in my last St. Vinny's Thrift With Me video that I did when we were here our last visit, I was lucky enough to find some actual boxes of flossed on cards and embroidery thread and stuff, so it was really cool. I like the color of this one, and as I mentioned with the fabric bundles, I've noticed that whenever they get embroidery floss and different skeins, different brands, whether it's pearl cotton or, you know, variegated or just solid like most of these are, actually I think all of these are solid, yeah. They will put them in bundles like this, and they typically will put them kind of like in like colors, and I like that a lot, because I wouldn't want to purchase a pack like this if I had like a bunch of neon, like hot pinks, greens, and even purples and stuff that I probably wouldn't purchase on their own. So I'm really happy that they have this kind of a setup how they do that. Some shipping tags. Let's see, these aren't like vintage or anything, but they're, you know, they're older. Just some different tags. You can never have enough of those, so I grabbed that pack. And these are just some hand sewing needles, special household needs, curved and straight needles for repairing. Now, I remember when I was a kid, we had those braided rugs, like it was huge, and it was in our living room. And I have memories of my dad sitting on the ground with a carpet needle, and he would, you know, be doing repairs on the rug. And so kind of nostalgia for me for that. But I also like, you know, adding needles to my collection and stuff. So, and I like the packaging, so I grabbed that. This here is pretty cool, you guys. So you use these with Dressmaker's carbon, and it looks like a stapler. It's not, and it's like that, you see. And so you put the Dressmaker's carbon paper in between here, underneath that, and then when you're tapping out your pattern, you take it and you go and you move this along your fabric that's under the Dressmaker's carbon, and then it leaves that pattern for you. So really, really cool. This is going into my collection, just kind of different sewing, haberdashery, dressmaking type stuff, because I just like it. Scissors, I love all that stuff. So I was happy to come across that. And then this bag of older wood clothespins, because I use these to, this is actually how I personally store my skeins whenever I buy them in their package like that in a skein. and I wrap it around the clothespin, and it's just the way I prefer to do it. And so I was happy to find these, and I also like to use these for when I'm putting you know, embroidery flosses and different strings and fibers and stuff in my different kits that I make. I think it's kind of cool packaging, and I also figure, you know, whoever buys them can, you know, reuse these clothespins however they want. You can alter them or whatever. All right, and last but not least is this gorgeous gym basket. And I have a ton of these, you guys, but let's all say together, they're in storage. So I'm happy to have found this one. Now I don't have one that's quite like this. It's got a metal plate. I paid $19.99, which is a great price. And typically in my area, I will find these are in around upwards of like 25, 30, even up to 50 bucks a piece. So I thought this was a really great price, and this is going to be great to hold some different items back in Montana. All right, I need to let Miss Sophie in again, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be looking for future projects using the goodies that I share with you guys today. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.